I just I wanted to come on and I know it's been forever since we done politics. Yeah, we back, baby. We back. All right. So I wanted to do my first election takeaways. I tried to do this earlier, but hey, whatever. And so the first thing I'll say is and I'm gonna go into this as far as I can in each video that I do for the elections. Um I always tell people do not vote for either party, especially the Democratic Party, because both parties are this way. We already know how the Republicans are oligarchic, pro Wall Street, pro war, anti worker, anti union, all of that, right? Like we get it, and then we get that. Like they don't care about white men at all. They do. They don't care about black people. They don't care about Mexican, brown people. They don't care about Indians, Indian Americans. They don't care about Muslims. They don't care if you're white and you're Christian. You're safe, right? Essentially, I get it. Whatever. Okay, fine. But there's a reason why I tell people not to vote for Democrats, because they are the exact same thing. The exact same thing. They are pro Wall Street, pro war, pro big pharma, pro big health, anti worker, anti union, and no matter how much they tell you, they are anti gay, anti LGBTQ, anti labor, all of that. And I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, like Crystal Ball on the Hill, not on the Hill, on Breaking Points, and Kyle Kalinske on Secular Talk, Democratic bootlickers." They'll tell you, "Oh my God, Biden has an NLRB, National Labor Relations Board, full of union people. That's why you're seeing a lot of pro-union stuff." Biden is not pro-union. He's not. He's anti-union. He barely backs any strikes, and he's bought by the very companies that we're trying to get unions from. And when Starbucks did union busting, when Amazon did it, he really didn't do anything about it. So, I mean, period. None of these parties are here for you. If it is supporting billionaires like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and the Mercers and the Koch brothers, any other people like that, then yeah, the Democrats are absolutely going to support them. Yeah, absolutely. I'm Chuck Schumer. We're going to support them. New York. Unfortunately, he won. But his seat. But again, 5 terms, by the way. You know, it's still terrible, right? So that's all who they support. Okay. But let me just go over my first initial takeaways, which is, man, is this such a disappointing day for Republicans? Look, I mean, everyone said even I said it. I said it here on the show that Republicans were going to take the House handily. They might even take the Senate, but I didn't think there was a good chance for the Senate. I mean, my main takeaway is, man, how surprising is this election, yo? Guys, this election is so like crazy. I don't even know how to begin. There are things that both parties did that they shouldn't have, and that they did that, maybe worked out for them. Man, I guess where I'll start is the fact that we're sitting here today and we don't know like who's exactly taking the House. It's still leaning Republican, but they've only gained like 1 seat, and that's insane to me. And in the Senate, it's even crazier because Nevada and Arizona are still not even called. And I'm in Nevada, Las Vegas specifically, but that's all I'm gonna go. Give us your address. No. But like Senator Catherine Cortez Masto is behind Adam Laxalt. Amazing. And then Steve Sisolak, our terrible, crappy awful governor, is behind Joe Lombardo. I I I I, I just find that incredible. Um, and either of these seats could force power one way and give it to the Democrats or the Republicans. Another thing I found crazy about this election is Republicans now have a chance to take 52, maybe even 54 seats in the Senate, 55 or 56. Damn. That's crazy because I figured, I mean, I'd like them to take the Senate just to get the Democrats out of power, but I mean, they'd vote for the same things, but except the mandates. Um, and the Ukraine war. Maybe. Um, but isn't it funny how now the Republicans could possibly take the Senate? Now there's a 63% chance apparently that the Democrats could also retake this and regain it, like keep control. That's a pretty big one. Now another pretty big thing. So we'll continue on those is Georgia. But another thing is Georgia. So Georgia, if you remember 2 years ago on this show, we covered the Georgia runoffs. The Georgia runoffs that took place in 2021 with Raphael Warnock and Kelly Loeffler, David Perdue, and John Ossoff. Like, there's this, you know, um, it's insane. I remember covering that, and now it looks like it's gonna head to a runoff because while Raphael Warnock is leading, Herschel Walker, who's got his own skeletons in his own closet and his own baggage, and I'll go over that too. He's still behind, so he still hasn't hit that 50% threshold. So now it's got to go to a runoff. So now I feel bad for over the next 4 to 6 weeks or 5, whatever. Georgians are going to have to keep seeing TV ads. Amazing, right? Amazing that that's happening. That now Georgia is going to have TV ads for all that time because now they got to vote for either Herschel Walker again or Raphael Warnock. That's a big deal. And that could also, you know, create a problem for either party. Whoever wins that seat could affect the balance of power in the Senate. Huh. Crazy, right? And then, of course, you have Pennsylvania. Now, Pennsylvania, you had John Fetterman. We covered him on the channel. I loved John Fetterman because, I mean, he took a small town in Pennsylvania, a steel town that was abandoned. Nobody wanted to live there. It was the worst for everything, highest in crime, worst for real estate, worst for tourism, everything. And he turned it around to one of the most thriving small towns in America, and in history. And he was very big in the elections in the Pennsylvania Senate as the lieutenant governor. He was, after being mayor, he was actually really good. And last year when he started running, I figured, I got to cover him. And then he started giving bull crap Democratic answers to questions that really were a layup. And he just couldn't get past them. So I decided I wouldn't cover him on the channel anymore. Part of me kind of regrets it, but a part of me doesn't. Because I'd be saying the same things, right? Like, why this, why that? So he had a stroke, and really the Republicans didn't do themselves a favor by mocking him for having a stroke. And I think that could have affected it too. Second, the Democrats, being the Democrats, were trying to hide what was really happening. And watching that debate, it was too painful to watch for me. It looked just so miserable for him. Didn't have a good debate performance at all. But then you had Dr. freaking Oz. Go back to Jersey, dude. Go back to New Jersey. Be on the Dr. Oz show. He was an unlikable candidate. He went against the Republican fray of abortion. He just wasn't a good candidate. He was an awful candidate. He underperformed. And a lot of people just didn't like him. They just supported him because Trump backed him. So I guess I'll support him. That's not a good reason to back your candidate. Not a good reason. Okay. But either way, John Fetterman wins, and he's, sorry, my phone went off. John Fetterman wins that election. Another one, if we look at Carrie Lake and Blake Masters is just underperforming. He's the Trump-backed candidate. Carrie Lake and Katie Hobbs, they're battling for governor of Arizona. Governor of Arizona, Doug Ducey has to go. Otherwise, yeah, he'd be running. Katie Hobbs is ahead by a very, very narrow margin. Very narrow. And Katie Hobbs could easily take this. I mean, I'm serious. She could easily just take it. Just incredible how this is working. Now Joe Kelly, former Congresswoman Gabby Gifford's husband, he was in the Navy, and then he commanded this shuttle space command thingy. He is pretty much going to win handily, I would say, against his opponent. So that's another seat for the Democrats in the Senate. One seat that did go away was Tim Ryan in Ohio. I don't know if it was for governor or whatever, but JD Vance actually won. And that was really crazy to watch, that he unseated Tim freaking Ryan. That was a big one right there. The Wisconsin race, I can't remember who's running there with Mandela Barnes, but Mandela Barnes is not really winning at all. And then, so those are just a few key races that we're looking at. One thing that I also want to mention my immediate takeaways before I really go delve deep into certain issues. I'm disappointed in the Republican Party. And I'll explain more in another video what went wrong for them. Look, they way underperformed. I mean, everyone had them like, oh, Republicans are going to take this seat, that seat, that seat, that seat, that seat. Like this seat and that seat and that seat and that seat and that seat. And they didn't. I mean, New Hampshire, what a big win. Big win. And then Bill Daley got defeated in Maryland. Incredible. Even in Colorado, in the Washington State Senates, they got crushed in those seats. Regional politics played a role, and man, did the Republicans! It wasn't a red wave, wasn't a red tsunami. It was definitely what Ben Shapiro said, more of a red wedding. Republicans, I mean, they had a few issues. One, Roe v. Wade. Two, they had very unlikable candidates. And three, the election deniability. Like the Democrats do it too. And we're going to go over how, they can deny all these elections and then they call the Republicans extremists. And I'll go into this further, but this video is long enough. Look, I mean, the Republicans just had bad messaging. They had unlikable candidates. They were just too Trump-like. And this, again, I mean, there's so many videos to do here because this puts a question mark on Donald Trump, who's getting ready to announce, and who I am more than sure, I'm pretty sure he'll run for president. Look, I'm so tired of the election. That's why I'm yawning. A lot of Trump-backed candidates lost. They lost in miserably too, and it's like, oh man, I'm not even mentioning half the crap that's gone on. I know I'm missing quite a bit of numbers, quite a bit. But still, I mean, they just really mishandled this election. This election was a layup. And yet we're still teetering between, maybe the Democrats, maybe the Republicans, maybe they should have picked up at least 25, 26 seats in the House. They should have picked up at least 50 seats in the Senate or more, 52 seats, and they haven't. I'm not saying that it can't happen. There's still races going on. Like I said, Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Georgia. It just crazy. By the way, a Democrat won won the Wisconsin governorship. So lots of takeaways to go, and Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis, actually, I found out is TIS, not TOS, like I've been saying all this time. Um, he's the biggest winner of the night for the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, but really the Republican Party. He won by 20 points, and I'm gonna do a video on him and Trump because this begs the question: should the party follow Trump or should they follow Ron DeSantis? I mean, I think I know who. I think Ron DeSantis, but we're gonna see. And then I mean, another thing that came up was, and I'll talk about it. The abortion thing. I mean, they said yes in Kentucky. Into Kentucky, they said yes to Rand Paul, no to their anti-abortion ballot measure. Um, so this tells me that women showed up in droves, young people showed up in droves. So many takeaways to go over. So I mean, keep coming on, keep subscribe, because this is gonna get like, comment, share, and subscribe, because this is gonna get crazy. I'm gonna be talking about a lot of things here on the channel. We're coming back politically. This is gonna be huge, huge, very big. Okay. I haven't done a Trump impression in months and months and months, probably years on this channel. But yeah, lots of things to take away. Let me know what you guys think also in the comments. I mean, what are your main election takeaways? I'm gonna do another video going over this, and yeah, it was a crazy night.